In this video, we're going to be spawning more than one magazine with our weapon. So we're going to have it be random between 1 and 3. Um, that's about it. We're going to we're going to obviously just spawn an initial magazine and set that up for our current magazine. And because that's replicated, that's going to trickle down to the client. It's not that important if we go ahead and, what's it called? It's not that important if we go ahead and just set it from the server immediately, because nobody's going to pick up the weapon after it's been spawned before any of that kind of stuff has been replicated, so it's not really going to matter. So we're just going to change extra magazines to current magazine and go that route. So we can actually go ahead and change that. Set that to be current magazine equals magazine. And from there, I want to do a for loop. So we do need fmath, which do we have? Yes, we do. Right, so we have rand range. You can see the minimum and the maximum value. Minimum being 1, maximum is going to be 3. So we're going to create a for loop. So we're going to do short, since it's between 1 and 3, we can use I think what's it called? uint 8. Yeah, we're just going to uint 8. I equals 0. I is less than fmath rand range. Minimum being 1, max being 3. Is rand range returning a float? No. Okay, that's fine. And then I plus plus. Or actually, plus plus I. So now from there, we will simply spawn some magazines. So we're going to do pretty much this entire thing. We already know what the spawn parameters are and all that kind of stuff, so it doesn't matter. Right, so we do our if statement for the magazine. And if it's valid, we're going to add magazine to current or extra magazines. So extra magazines dot add magazine, just like so. And that is really it. Then we need to make our change as well to this loop, because we want to do this for the current magazine as well. So first thing, I want to do if current magazine does not equal null pointer, we're going to set it up. And then we're going to move on to our extra magazines and set those up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and compile. All right, one Mississippi 2. Go setting up current magazine and setting up magazine on rep. So I guess that means we only had one extra magazine spawn. I'm going to go ahead and set this up as a separate variable just so I can see. So int 32, to do random num. And I want to print that out just so I can see it. To D for integers, I think. And random num. All right, let's compile. So we wanted to spawn 2. So setting up magazine on rep, setting up magazine on rep. All right, we know that it's working properly. So there should be 3 magazines there. Okay. So we are good to go there. We know how many magazines we need that are spawning, and they're spawning accordingly. We have our current magazine, so let's check when we pick up the weapon if we can shoot now, which we can. 1, 22, 23, 24, I might be off, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. All right, I just expended all of the ammo. I'm left clicking now, and I can no longer fire. I'm going to print out the amount of ammo that we have just so we can see that a little bit better. Right, and compile. And this will just allow us to see the amount of ammo in the magazine as it decrements. So by default, we know it's 30. This is just for you guys to see right now as well. 29, 28, 27, so on, just spamming it. And it's at 0. I'm left clicking. Nothing's happening. So we are good. Let's see. Now we need to set up some form of reloading. So I think I'm going to do that in the next video because I want to keep this one nice and short because the past 2 were 30 plus minutes. So I'm going to reiterate what we did real quick. Scroll, here we are. All right. So what we did was we made the change. So when we spawned our magazine, we set our current magazine, the magazine that's in the weapon, to equal that initial magazine. From there, we created a random number between 1 and 3, and we did a for loop on it. So this is going to run as many times as random number. So then we spawn the magazine into the world. We're using the same spawn parameters, and we're adding those magazines, if they're valid when they spawned, into the extra magazines array. From there, we still just same as normal. The on-rep magazine spawn gets called from the server immediately, which simply checks, again, if the magazine row name is greater than 0. Well, it does that up here. Then we get the magazine row names. And then we check if the current magazine is not null, meaning it's still valid. We set up that magazine. And then we do the exact same thing, which we have not changed for the extra magazines. That is the only difference. So now we have a random amount of magazines spawning with the weapon. And in the next one, we will go through reloading. So I will see you then.